Andrea, what's the book? Because I can't pronounce the author, so you have to do this one.
The author is Louis L'Amour, but you read it like most recently, so.
I thought you were going to read it today, Andrea.
Well, I decided I have too many books to read, and then I shouldn't reread them until I've read all the new ones.
Is like 8 books your limit?
Yeah, I can only read 8 books in one day. I'm just kidding.
I love how Andrea got shit for not rereading the book that neither of you two have written.
Well, I did read a book today.
What book did you read?
Book?
I read The Boy. I finished it from Roald.
Did you like it?
Start it?
Huh?
When did you start The Boy?
This morning.
Okay, so you started and finished. I thought you were like, oh, I finished it because I started it yesterday, but you're like, no, this morning.
No, I started reading at like 7:30.
It's not super long.
Yeah, I mean, the font is kind of big. It's not like super long.
Do you read or do you like skim?
I read it.
Okay, so you know. Oh, go ahead.
I had today off, so it's not like I was like doing anything.
So you know how I told you guys that I was going to read Peter Pan this week?
Yeah.
Okay, I did it like a normal person, and I figured out how many pages were in the book, and I divided it by how many days were this week that I had to read that many per day. Andrea,
did you read
those for it? Yeah, I read the pages today, but I love how Andrea just like
commits.
Screw that, screw logic. I'm gonna just read it in one day. That's crazy.
Well, I want to finish the last book. I have one left, so I want to finish that one before.
Okay, well now we're getting off topic. Anyways, what's this haunted?
Imagine that. It's called The Haunted Mesa. Andrea and I have both read it, but Andrea read it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And Andrea recommended this book to me, and I'm really jealous because do you have Grandpa's copy, Andrea, of the book?
Yes, I think so.
Did he sign it?
Did I what? No.
Did he sign it?
Does not look like it. But yeah, this was one of my favorite ones by Louis L'Amour.
So it's a like sci-fi kind of Western mystery. So it's awesome. Okay, so there's this guy called Mike Raglan. I think that's how you say his last name. And he pretty much has this crazy childhood. I feel like Madeline would love him because he ends up being like an orphan, and then he travels with the circus for a while, and then he ends up in like a small town somewhere, and so he ends up writing for like a local newspaper for a while, and then he finds his like niche is like debunking like mysteries or like sci-fi type things, because he knows all of the tricks from the carnival growing up and like what people do for sleight of hand or like tricking people for reading their fortune and stuff like that. And so he gets this knack for like, he travels the world and there's like these like mysterious sites or things people say like happen, and he goes in there and he like debunks them, and then he writes about them for like a magazine, and it's really cool. But then he gets like a letter from his friend who's out in like northern Arizona by Four Corners, and all this weird stuff's happening to him, and he's like, Mike, please come, I need your help. Okay. Turns out his friend starts building, his super rich friend starts building a house on top of a mesa. Okay. Because he's rich and he's introverted and he has all this money and he wants to be away from people. Like, he's awesome. Right. So he's like, fuck success society. I'm going to live by myself in this awesome house. But then this weird stuff starts going on with, what's it called, Andrea? Like a kiva.
Yeah, the kiva. Yeah,
so it is, the Anastasi's made these, and I guess they're like holes in the ground. It's like a spiritual site. And it supposedly has a window in it. And according to the Anastasi legend in the book, the Anastasis left their world because it became bad, and they came here through like a window in the kiva. And then they were here for a while, right?
Was it like a tower though, and then they buried it, and so then they thought it was a hole in the ground?
Oh, I don't remember that part.
I thought they had to dig it up. But
oh,
yeah,
so
it was like it was like a round thing with a window.
Yeah. So anyway, this weird supernatural stuff with the Anastasies and like what historically had happened with like the Native Americans in the area start happening to his friend, and he asks Mike to come, and Mike shows up and the guy's gone, and he's got to figure out what happened.
It was really good. It was one of my favorite books of his, and it's a New York Times bestseller. The books are, but I thought it was interesting.
You guys would also like it because a very large dog is also featured in it, who just like roams around and is Mike and his friend's dog, and he protects them from like weird noises in the night. So
that's not at all what I thought it was going to be about when you told me the book's name, and that it was like a Western type book.
It's unique to his other ones are what you would typically think Westerns are like. This one was like a little more current, like have a car kind of thing. It would kind of stand out from his other books, I would say. It was more current, but it was still in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, these people were like real people.
It's based on a true story.
Well, not on a true story, but like the Anasazi actually, like, you know what Mesa Verde is, or Manitou? Or they live in the dwellings? That's what they're about. So these people, like, actually, their like race just disappeared. And historians have been trying to determine what happened, and they have all these theories. But I don't think they had any theories back when this book was written. So this is kind of like what he came up with, he thought.
That's kind of neat.
Like theories that people thought back then.
It's
kind of freaky because we went right by there and I researched people when we were like, we saw like some historical sign or something. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I started like researching it, and they were like just kind of like disappeared.
Would you say that you liked the ending? Like it wrapped everything up, or was it more like unclear?
No, it wrapped everything up. It was really good. And like the book, especially the second half, moved so fast. I was like, like there's like, I was like, how could all like the stuff that needs to happen? And it totally did. He did a very good job.
Did it feel rushed because of that at all, or did it work?
Or were you so excited you read it really fast?
So I really liked it and I read it fast, but I think some parts were a little rushed, mostly because it almost seemed like he tried to cram so much into a paragraph that I had to go back and reread it a couple of times, and I don't normally have to do that to like pick out all the detail. But it was good though. I liked the ending. It was like it wrapped things up. I think you guys would like it.
I'm still a little hooked and concerned on the fact that you think I would like this guy. And then after you said that, you said he joined the carnival. So I don't know what guys you think I'm into.
Not like that. Like I feel like it's not like this is your type, Madeline. Okay, he's like in the circus.
The preface that Madeline has a thing for circus people.
My DM's gonna be so full after reading this video.
She's been known to daydream about the circus people.
No, I just thought that I was like, I feel like right after we talked about somebody else, like another author who joined the circus, and you were talking about how fascinating they were.
Okay, Hatchet, Gary Paulson.
Yeah, and this guy was like kind of similar, but he was like this character was very like eccentric and like kind of like quirky and fun. I thought you would like him.
Okay, I would probably like him. I like unique people, which is why I'm friends with you guys.
Yeah. Kelly.
Kelly's the most unique of us all.
Well, I'd say I'm interested enough to read it now. I like that you didn't give spoilers. But it's definitely more of a like mystery, like kind of not investigation, kind of like, you know, Sherlock Holmes, debunk like things, kind of that feel, versus I was thinking originally it was like Haunted Mansion, I think just because it starts with an M and Mesa starts with an M. But I thought he like went to a mansion that was haunted and was like finding ghosts, and you guys know how I feel about that. So
no,
I would probably read this book. That's what I'm saying.
I imagined a Western man with like spurs on his boots walking into Liz's casita and being like, "Yep, haunted." That's like literally all I imagine.
And then he walks out.
In like an old westerny tiny voice, being like, "Yep, definitely haunted."
I don't think it was too scary though, Matt, because I read it and I liked it. I do not like scary things like you.
No. There's definitely like a sci-fi element though. And I don't think that I knew that or appreciated it when I started reading it, because the whole idea about the Anastasi, right, is because they moved from like an original world because it became bad and they came here, but then they disappeared from here. And so it ties into that. So there's like a little bit of like different world type talk going on. And I think that, I mean, I had no idea. I like that kind of stuff, but I feel like you should know that before you.
You should go to Mesa Verde, Liz, and see their houses.
I'm going to find the Haunted Mesa. I'm going to find that Kiva and I'm going to jump into it.
And then we're going to have to go debunk something and find real fucking window.
I'll call you guys just like Mike's friends did. And I'm like, guys, I need help.
I'm going to be like, not if there's no circus boys there.
That's exactly what Madeline sounds like.
Yeah. I just realized like I have cat ears this whole video.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, don't move, but like you.
Yeah. Great.
So I would actually rate this book because we have what time? Do we have to wrap this up? I would rate this book.
I wish I could read the books at once. I totally would.
You can rate it, Liz.
What?
Are you gonna rate it?
Yeah, I would give it an A. So one of the only would not give it an A plus because I feel like there were a couple of things that like a couple times that like dialogue and like one small storyline were like a little corny and it kind of bothered me, but it was an A.
Okay. What about you, Anne?
I would say it's an A, probably an A plus for me because I have read it twice. I really like it. Westerns are my favorite genre, and this was my favorite Western I've read, so I would say an A plus for me.
Well, we'll have to do a follow-up after Kelly and I read it.
Yeah.
Right, Kel?
Yeah, I actually like feel left out or like I'm missing out on something because I'm the only one that can't read 2 books at once. Like I like barely make it to the weekly book or to the weekly book club stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what would happen if I had to read 2 books at once.
You're also the only one out of the 4 of us with a child. So you have like a good excuse.
Well, I feel like, am I the only one working outside the home right now?
Yeah.
I'm still quarantined. I can't even leave the house. So.
But I would read at lunch too when I went into the office.
I wake up every morning at 5 so that I can drink coffee and read.
The one time I do that would be the one time Raleigh's like, I'm going to get up at 5 with my mom.
That would be
Kelly,
so
Kelly, what books do you even like reading? Because maybe you just need to find your genre.
Okay, this is gonna sound silly though. I like the mystery type. I don't like the word mystery because that kind of seems hokey, but like, you know, what's that one book we read?
What if I had sings?
Yeah, that one. Like stuff like that. I liked the God Game. Like there was enough like stuff going on that you didn't really know where it was going. But then I also don't want to get sucked into like one area. You know, I think it's important to diversify and like read a little bit of everything so you can relate with people and stuff. I don't know, learning, stuff like that.
Well, when you master reading 2 books, you'll have to let us know. Someday.
Somebody better send me a trophy or something.
Well, there you have it, The Haunted Mesa. Go read it. Let us know what you think.